everybody, and welcome to the newest indoor adventure in The Dangers of Dunwater, Part 2. Today is June 27th, 2019, and you are loved. And because it is still Pride Month, even though we are nearing the end of it, I would still like to say to everybody who is currently celebrating Pride Month, and to those who know people who are celebrating Pride Month and are encouraging them, we are proud of you. You guys are doing the absolute best that you can, and at the end of the day, nobody else can really tell you what to do about your own self besides you. So just keep doing the best that you can, because you got this. Because I feel like it's a very important thing to remember. Other important things to remember is we stream Monday, Tuesday, no longer on Wednesdays and Thursdays, but now Saturdays? So, yes, that is a recent development. We have moved our community one-shot days to Saturday, mostly because I'm still a human being besides being a showrunner, and Wednesdays was kind of conflicting with my personal life a lot, so I have decided to alleviate some of the pressures as my non-showrunner personality of just regular me, and kind of change things up a bit to make things easier, and hopefully it's easier for all of you guys as well, because I would like to be able to play games with more people, and I feel like having stuff on the weekends as a one-shot night versus a Wednesday is going to make things a lot easier for everybody. Other things to remember if you are just tuning in, or if this is your first session that you're catching, hey, consider checking out the other shows that we have on youtube.com/indooradventures, or if you are more of an audiocast person, you can go to anywhere where audiocasts are served. Is downloaded? Available. That's the right one. You can go to wherever they're available and check us out at Indoor Adventures, because this year I would like to be the year that we defeat the Indoor Air Conditioning Repair Podcast. We are so close. I can feel it in my jellies, in the words of the detective of Pikachu's. Other than that, you can support the show using Twitch subs and get access to our Discord, or you can check us out on Patreon, get access to our after show. And if neither of those things interest you, but say you're feeling rather cold in the winter, or you just want some breathable clothing during the summer, have I got a deal for you. And it's not, I turned off the camera somehow, so I don't know how that worked. Is it coming back?
Nope.
Nope.
It says that it can't find the camera, so...
Have I got a deal for you? Disappear.
That's it. Show's canceled.
All right. Apparently,
everybody check your wallets.
Apparently, it did not like that. So, I don't know what I did.
Did you unplug your camera, or did good magic do some bad magic?
No, my cat's fine. It really does not like either camera that I have. I don't know what to do about that. So I'm just going to be a very spooky gray box for a hot minute. So I would like to say, hey guys, I'm holding up a mug right now. I'm wearing a really comfortable sweatshirt. There's a poster behind me that's super neat and interesting and looks very nice. There's all sorts of stuff that you can see. I don't know why this is happening. That you would be able to see if all of our things were working. I don't know why.
Make me a beautiful word picture.
A beautiful word picture. It is movie-sized poster quality of a drow with short white hair that has sideburns that kind of curl a little bit to make her look like the main female lady from Treasure Planet that made us all woo as 8-year-olds. Then underneath it has a picture of Coriander with her moon sword. And her hair is big and full. She is wearing rather lovely armor. I have a 15-ounce white mug. Why is this camera not coming back? And it just says, failed to start camera. Please select another camera, but it's not letting me. I think I actually might have to end the stream because Zoom does not like Streamlabs.
Oh,
so we
no.
might have we might have a little bit of a hiccup, so bear with us. Hello, everybody. I haven't adjusted my Zoom. or my regular Logitech camera. So this is all of the cool stuff that is usually hidden. There's a window. But yes, we have figured it out. Cyberwolf helped me through it. So we got all those technical difficulties out. This is going to be fun to download and edit later. And now I'm sweaty because I'm embarrassed. But...
Hi, it me, Cyber. No, I will not fix your computer.
Getting that out of the way already. But let's get off to some introductions. So, Dingo, who are you playing tonight?
Good question. I'm Dingo, she, her, and I am playing Hish Sunguard, the half-orc fighter, he, him.
All right, and Kiana.
Hi, I'm Keanu. I am playing Ulman Dark and Ham, the slime. We both use he, him.
All right, Cyber.
But there are 3 of you. Hi, I'm Cyber. I'm playing Albus, the Kalashtra Bard / sorcerer, maybe. We use he, him.
All right, and who you playing, Kylan?
Hi, I'm KyleWithAnN. I am playing Jilfa'en, the regrettably a cleric of Umberly, who's also a half-elf, who we both use she, her.
Excellent. And I am the indoor adventurer, and tonight I shall be your dungeon master. And I use he, him as well. So, last we left off on this wonderful, wonderful game of Saltmarsh, now that all of my problems have gone away.
God, I wish that were me.
So you guys were able to successfully navigate Oliver's Triumph, your newly named boat, back into the harbor of Saltmarsh, where you guys then were given quite a sizable amount of gold pieces and had some downtime throughout the week. Albus, you decided that you were going to start hanging out 90 feet below water, or below sea level off the side of a cliff, as you have taken your level in Sorcerer, allowing you to breathe underwater and have a swim speed and all of that good stuff. Hish, you ended up meeting a green-cloaked, red-haired individual that you would later learn to be named Viari of Acquisitions Incorporated, while you were at a estate sale / auction for the haunted house that you and Gillen Primewater were attempting to buy. And Jill, you and Ulman had a lovely non-fish related breakfast, talking about Umberly as a whole, before you guys eventually saw a large ship being carried by a Acquisitions Incorporated balloon land at the jumping point where Ulman had been painting previously. Omen Drawn and Jim Darkmagic, both of Acquisitions Incorporated, contacted Ulman, asking him to round up the lot of you as they had a business proposition for you. Ulman and then went and grabbed Hish, and then you all ended up meeting up at the Acquisitions Incorporated temporary headquarters, where you decided to sign on with them. It seemed like the money was good. You talked them into 275 gold pieces in order to go out and reacquire some of their field gear that had been being misused by a group of individuals with a wildcard license. So we are picking up with, you guys have a half-elf, a kobold, and a human man, all currently knocked out, as those were the only 3 that survived. And Albus, you are currently on your way to the half-elf, as you were going to inspect what the deal with her was, how she was able to kind of see through you.
Right.
So getting up to this body and kind of checking it out, you see that the blood loss has caused her to kind of pass out. She doesn't look like she's going to be bleeding profusely. She's stabilized at 0, as you guys had knocked her out with a knife to the back of the leg. So taking a look and kind of getting more of a visual representation of her features, you see that she has a monocle that she wears on her right eye that has a chain that kind of connects to a piercing that she actually has along her ear. And it seems like this is actually what she was able to use. You could make an Arcana check if you would like.
12.
You don't detect anything magical about this piece of eyewear. She must have used something else from your standpoint to actually do the things that she did. But other than that, very easily disarm her, and then you aren't necessarily the strongest of your party, but you'd still be able to bring her body back over to the others, as you guys have a very quiet, knocked out kobold, as well as the human man whose teeth that Ulman had busted in earlier.
Well,
I feel awful bad about it, how bad I busted up this man's teeth.
Well, at least he's alive. Jill will say, looking at like this crumpled up necrotic dwarf corpse.
It is a crumpled up necrotic dwarf corpse and a small gray-skinned gnomish fellow who had also been forcibly deceased under Albus's terms.
So at least you have that going for him. At least he has that going for him.
Yes, I would think that the rest of these people emerged quite on the positive side of this encounter.
Well, they'll face their crimes. It won't be pleasant.
Was that part of the contract? Or are we supposed to be taking them back?
I don't know.
Well, we're
It
supposed
kind
to be...
I thought we were
I
just
didn't
gonna take
understand.
Well,
I assumed that they wanted them back for justice, but I didn't get through the contract, as we all remember.
DM, what were we supposed to do?
You were supposed to bring back the Acquisitions Incorporated gear that they had been given. It was basically return Acq Inc. property back to the headquarters. Albus, you had actually asked specifically to Omen whether or not it mattered if you brought these individuals back alive, to which Omen kind of gave you a shrug, and best left it up to your discretion.
Albus would 100% read that as bring them back. I don't want to get into the specifics of why.
Okay.
Let's not talk about that.
Well,
To be at least fair, if they have a stash of other things, as they might since they were just ambushing people here, we at least need them alive to tell us where that is so we can go get it and complete the contract.
Yes, or, we bring them all back to Omen, let him decide what to do with them, or if they have any other information that would be useful to him.
before we take them back, maybe we just... Because technically speaking, the gold that they may or may not be carrying would not necessarily be Acq Inc. property. So maybe we just...
But that would make sense.
Perfect. I'm going to start rooting through their pockets.
Okay. Yeah, so on these individuals, on the dwarf, you end up finding not only a series of gold and silver coins valuing at around 13 gold pieces, 27 silver pieces. You also find on this individual. A kind of interesting gold coin in that it seems a little bit larger than the other coins that he has on his person, but one of them has, one side of it has the Acquisitions Incorporated logo kind of stamped and embossed into it. And it doesn't seem like it's a
I leave
standard
that one in his pocket. I don't give a shit about that one.
And other than that, he has his great knife that he was using, the two-handed sword that when he became larger turned into more of a stabbing utensil. And looking on the deceased gnome, you find it's a hooked spear. So it has a spearing end, but then it also has kind of a rounded tip on it. But other than that, he's not really wearing anything of value. You do find on him as well, though, that there is a very similar to the jar that Omen had pulled out to let Albus listen into. It seems like this gnome was actually the caretaker of that jar for this crew. Looking through everybody else, you find a mace, a short bow, a quiver of 20 arrows, several javelins, 3 javelins to be exact. And you also, if you would like, can strip them of can strip one of them of the chain shirt that they were wearing. I believe that the dwarf was wearing a breastplate, but it's sized for a dwarf. So let me check on that real quick. But it does not seem like overall they had that much gold on them.
Okay, that's fine. I don't think Hish is going to take anything that they are like wearing or any like items, just the gold, because he doesn't know what's Acq Inc property and what's not.
Very fair.
I think during this time, Jill is going to take some rope and just like kind of tie up the unconscious people. You know, in case they wake up.
Just in case.
Just in case. That's smart. It's good. Smart.
We should just put them in the cart, honestly.
Yes. I'm just making sure that they don't, should they choose to wake up, try anything. So,
Oh, of course, yes. Tying them up is very good. I'm just saying we should just place them in the cart right now, because we can.
what do we want to do with, the ones who were not so fortunate? She says, gesturing in the corpses direction.
I was thinking we should take them as well. Their bodies could be returned to their families.
That's very
Or
noble of you.
Given whatever religious rites they wanted.
That is very noble of you. I also vote you to do that part.
I'll do that part, that's fine.
Perfect.
Do you have like a tarp or something? Maybe we just like throw it over them. I don't want to look at them the whole way home.
Yeah, he was wearing a breastplate. The dwarf was.
Okay.
Well, I can throw my coat over it.
All right. That works.
I don't have a tarp. It's the best I can do.
Other than just leaves, but I don't think we'll find one big enough.
I have a bedroll. Let me just put this bedroll on one of them. I'll just wash it later.
Alrighty.
All right.
But anyway, I want to talk to one of them. So, Hish, would you help me lift them into the cart so I can wake one? I mean, we could do it right here, but I just kind of want to have them up there in case they try to get away so that they, you know.
It'd be harder if the car was. I get you. As you wish. And Hish is helping Ulman just toss. He's just tossing them in the cart.
It's super easy. The individual whose teeth that you broke, He looks like he's staying passed out for a mighty long time. He took a pretty fierce concussion blow to the head, so he's just...
A couple of them.
Yeah, he's...
Should we collect his teeth for him?
I'll do that.
Yeah, so you...
He could get a prosthetic made, perhaps.
Perhaps.
So yeah, you are able to quickly collect all of the teeth that you can find. If a squirrel happened to run away with maybe one of them, I mean, you did the best that you could given the situation. And so you were able to then collect all of those things, kind of get all of the gear together. And which of these unconscious individuals are you waking up to try and talk to try and interrogate?
So we've got the kobold, the dude whose face I smacked in, and who's the other one?
The half-elf scout.
Yes.
Let's wake them up.
Yeah, let's wake that one up.
Okay, so you guys are waking up the scout. So when you do, who is the first face that she sees?
Probably me, beaming at her.
Okay.
Hello!
Hello.
I'm Ulman Dark.
Hello.
We were hired to retrieve you. So that is what we've done. We're also hired to retrieve the equipment you had. Is there anything
She
beyond
coughs.
what you have here?
She coughs up some blood, and she says, "This is everything we had. We gave everything we could to home office. Why does it matter what we're doing out here? We have the wild card license."
It was said that you had abandoned your job, and you still had property.
Look, we were doing what wild card holders do. Primarily, whatever the fuck we want, that's why we earn the card. That's what it was supposed to be.
Well, I think it's whatever the fuck you want within reason or brand interests. You have to read the fine print.
Yeah, obviously you didn't read the fine print.
What do you think I am, a documancer? No. Get out of here. I wasn't that. We don't operate with a documancer. It's not how we
That
did things.
seems like a mistake. I don't really know what documancers do, but these documents seem really important, especially since I can't understand them, and that's very dangerous.
Yeah.
So, but even if you didn't read the fine print, you can't just like rob people on the side of the road and not expect your employer to be like, this is probably bad for business. Do you see what I'm saying? Does that make logical sense to you?
She just kind of puts her head down.
Right.
She doesn't really respond to that.
So, do you have the Acq Inc. property or not? Is like all of your stuff Acq Inc. property?
She just sort of shrugs. For the most part, I mean, there's a few things that we brought ourselves. We didn't get from head office.
Right. Well, you know what? That's all my questions. Ulman, sorry, I hijacked it.
No problems. Thank you for the relief. I don't think I have any other questions. We'll be taking you back. If all they wanted was the equipment back, they may be releasing you, but you will be facing your judgment.
I think Jill's just gonna be like, there's nothing else. Nothing. With just like a raised eyebrow.
Make an insight check.
Da, 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 da. 16?
Okay. You feel like she's definitely holding out a little bit as to if there are other things. And you like as she says it though, you see her kind of just like glance off to the side a little bit. And following her gaze, she is looking over towards the brush where she and her group actually came out of to try and circle around. And she just doesn't seem to audibly relay that there was anything else. But you feel like she's probably hiding something.
Someone check the brush over there. I'm not entirely convinced.
Oh, of course. I'll go over.
Okay. And as you go and check out the brush, you end up finding 3 healing potions, as well as a it is a set of charlatans, like a charlatan's kit, disguise kit.
Wow. Does it appear to have some sort of Acq Inc. logo on it anywhere? I imagine they stamp their shit everywhere.
Oh, all the time. Branding, number 1.
Always be branding.
Yeah. No, there does not look like there is any kind of Acq Inc. Kind of symbolism on any of these things.
Oh, freebies.
And she just kind of puts her head down a little bit as you guys like, oh, free shit. Thanks for being the sucker. But yeah, so you if you have no other questions for this individual, she is just going to.
Oh, I do have one more question for you. Do you know if your friends who are deceased would have preferred any religious ceremonies, bodies, families to return to?
I don't think so, unless you're going to the Underdark anytime soon.
Not in particular.
Well, I could give them
just bury them in the local cemetery.
If you want,
I can give them an Umberlean burial. I'm somewhat experienced with those now.
and her eyes just like get kind of big when you say that. And just, why would you even joke about that?
I don't think it was a joke.
You people are fucked.
I don't joke.
Okay, says the person who was on the side of the road robbing innocent people, pretending to be in trouble. I don't need your judgment here.
Hang on. Let 1 second. Let me pray real quick. Yeah, okay, talking to my goddess, she says you're the one who's fucked. So hush.
I do have one other question, though. Now, is this the individual that had the piercing with the monocle? Yeah, I think Hish is going to turn around and like point to it and go, "What's that?"
It's my obviator lens.
And what does it do?
It allows me to see things.
See what things? Just like
see, like your friend here is an aboleth, possibly. That means anything to you?
Does that mean anything to me?
Does that mean anything to any of us?
I would immedially just
like
to let's see, which spells do I have?
Oh my! I would like to kill.
You're just gonna blast her ass into oblivion.
Absolutely.
She's at 1 and restrained.
Dissonant whispers. I need a wisdom save.
Albus
got 4. You don't even have to roll. She's at 1.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Well, 11.
Oh yeah. So as soon as she says it and looks at you with this really like very kind of snarky know-it-all look, you see her head just kind of snap back, her eyes roll into her head, blood starts coming out of her nose, and she slumps down into the cart, no longer moving.
Oh, sorry, my hand slipped.
Can I make a nature check?
It's what she would have heard in her mind.
Okay.
Can I make some sort of check?
Yeah. You guys can roll either a history, nature, or arcana.
I would like to pick up the monocle off of the dead person.
Okay.
23 nature?
It's like an 8 for any of them. They're all the same, so.
Okay.
eh.
Ulman, you've been alive for quite some time. You've been alive for... You'd said that you would be about 85 if you were a sentient human. And you have definitely heard of that word before. It is never used for anything good. Very much a word that is whispered into the night around coastal communities. These are old things. These are dangerous things. These are things that play with your mind.
I think after she dies, I think Jill's just gonna look at Albus and I don't know, insight check him maybe to see what his general mood is.
Sure. Insight check him. If his demeanor's changed at all.
25.
What does she get with a 25, Albus?
He's just flat-faced and expressionless.
It looks like she had an aneurysm. That's really unfortunate.
Yeah. Really unfortunate.
Well,
Anybody-
Anyway, I'm
these
gonna
things
load
do
up the
happen.
bodies here.
So we're just gonna ignore the things she said.
It's
We don't have to ignore it. But I'd rather wait until we were back in Saltmarsh to address it.
I will honestly tell you both, I have been with Albus for a while now, and I trust him a lot.
We'll discuss things when we reach Saltmarsh. I agree with Albus. And I'll
As you
just
wish.
put the bedroll over her face.
Just kind of move it a little bit because you already had the two that were dead. So
Like
it's
one
just-
corner.
Yeah.
Oh, there I go, murdering people again.
Whoops.
Yeah, Hish is just gonna drive the cart back into town.
Yep. It's I imagine it is a very quiet cart ride. And as you guys reach the edges of Saltmarsh again, you guys see that the sign that was originally hanging over the Acq Inc. fortress that said hiring all any and all applicants has been removed. It seems like they have hired a acceptable number of individuals today. But taking your cart up to the fortress, you see that Omen has actually moved the table inside rather than setting it outside. And when you open up the door to kind of see the boss himself, he looks up from the desk and it's only like 3 hours. You guys work fast.
We're efficient.
I like it. And he takes a note on a piece of paper that he has. So, what are we dealing with here? Dead? Alive? Just stuff?
About half and half.
You guys got everything, though?
We're pretty sure.
Right. And he looks over and he catches eyes with Viari and just motions outside, and Viari nods and goes to inspect the rest of what you have. And after about a minute or so, he comes back in and just gives Omen a thumbs up, and he says, "All right, so 275 gold pieces for each of you, and of course, welcome to Acquisitions Incorporated. Now, if you would like, we can set you up with a job post-haste, or if you are unsure as to the job that you would like to get into, maybe we can take a personality test or something. See where you're best fitted."
I don't even know what jobs there are. You mentioned a documancer, but that's not really my thing.
Give me the paperwork one.
All right, sounds like we have a documancer. And he marks a note down on a piece of paper, and he says, the available positions that we have currently are cartographer, decisionist, hordes person, loremonger, obviator, and occultant, as Oceanus has taken up the secretarian job. Now, if you're curious as to what any of those are, I can better properly explain. But if any of the names speak to you as big ticket items.
What is an occultant?
Well, an occultant measures the good and the bad, the living and the dead, to ensure that, well, casualties are part of the job, as you guys have already addressed. An occultant decides whether or not those are relevant to the brand. If you think that possibly disposing of an individual might be better for the brand versus if keeping them alive is better for the brand, even if it might go against your own personal interests. It's a very hefty job, to say the least, but it is a good one.
I'll think about it. Hish, what are you thinking?
I'm curious about, I've forgotten most of the other words you've said, but I do remember decisionist, and I remember something about hoarding.
That sounds like decisionist speak right there. The hordes person job is that you are effectively the treasurer for the group. You will be given a living hordes person bag that is connected to the horde vaults at the Acquisitions Incorporated main headquarters, where you can properly store all of the treasures and wonders that you find while you are out on your job. And if you need anything from us, from headquarters, you can talk to your new documancer who can file the appropriate paperwork, and we can see about delivering you those items through our hordes person bag system. So the wait time for acquiring things is significantly lessened. But a decisionist, do you find yourself often coming to needing to call things to a vote? I believe you said that you were the captain of the ship?
Yes.
Do you feel like the captain should have more of a vote than the crew?
Well, I don't think so. Just one person.
What if your vote could count for more than others? As part of a decisionist, if you were in a situation where you needed to vote on something, which you are always allowed to call a vote, should you so choose, your vote will count for 2 rather than for another member of the franchise's vote, which typically counts as 1. So in your group of 4, you are the tiebreaker. And if you have a decision that you would like to do, all 3 of the others have to vote against you in order to outweigh your vote. But if somebody chooses not to vote, then you can decide how they would have voted anyways.
That seems like it would be very useful for arbitration.
It makes things a little bit quicker.
All right. I will also think about it. Albus, any of them catching your eye?
Yes, I would like access to all of your secrets.
Albus, I think maybe you want to just...
Ulman raises an eyebrow at you.
What he means is he...
The jar. He likes the jar.
I want the lore.
We can get you the lore. We can make that incredibly easy for you. That sounds like loremonger talk. Now, as I showed you earlier, the Jar of Whispers is an incredible device. It records anything that you put into it and can recall any of the other whispers that it has also done. And if you are looking for secrets, whether it is our secrets, the secrets of the universe, or any other secrets, loremongering's a good place to start. And he jots down a quick note when he sees you're like, yes, this job.
I feel like chat would kill me if I don't choose loremonger.
All right, so we have a documancer, a loremonger, and 2 currently undecided. So we are going to be fixing up the house down the way over the next 5 days or so. We have hirelings taking care of it currently, but if you need anything, you're always more than welcome to come back to this office.
All right.
And with that, he just motions again for Viari, and Viari comes over with a he comes over for you, Jill, delivering the you get a very nice set of calligrapher's supplies.
Ooh.
Yes. It is ink, a dozen sheets of parchment, and 3 quills, as well as a satchel to hold it all. And inside of the satchel, you also get a ledger, some sealing wax, copper and silver leaf, and a documancer's seal of limited authority, as well as a scroll case.
Ooh.
So he just comes over, hands you this satchel, and it has some very nice Acquisitions Incorporated branding along the side of it. And for our loremonger, they end up bringing you over a, again, one of these kind of, it almost looks like an aether-filled vial, more of like a jug that has the spout coming off of it, and Viari hands it over to you. And Omen says, we did our best to try and remove all of the memories from this one and return them back to the head office, but there might still be a few in there. So sorry if anything weird is there. If you like that kind of thing, maybe it's more your speed, but it's all yours, loremonger.
He just gives that slight smile. Just like,
That's weirdly cute on Albus.
And then,
yes, the nitty pot of lore. Thank you.
excellent.
You know, time's not for wasting. I'll just do it. Occultant.
Are you sure? That's some decisionist speak right there.
Please
I
tell
was
me.
contemplating a hordes person as my other. I don't. Just give me occultant.
He just nods. And Viari says, 1 skull abacus coming up. And he walks off into their little storage room that they have set up, and he comes back out. And it is a 5-row abacus, but instead of beads, there are just these tiny white skulls that line the abacus.
It's, well, not what I'd consider my aesthetic, but I'll figure it out.
Oh, I'm sure.
Is there a manual?
There is. There is a small little pamphlet that looks like it is drawn with very cartoonish figures, and it says, "So you've decided to become an occultant." And with that, with your occultant's gear, you also have boop boop boop. You also gain proficiency in a tool of your choice from cook's utensils, leatherworker's tools, or weaver's tools.
Let's weave.
All right.
Are you sure you don't want to be able to cook ham?
Wait, what? Which one would...
Well, the cook supplies.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah. No, I don't know why. Give me those cook supplies.
Okay.
No, I would like to think that Ulman wants to go for the weaver's supplies, but ham is just like ham.
All right, so cook's utensils
Yeah,
it
yeah.
is, and they also hook you up with a set of cook's utensils. So that way you are able to actually kind of get started on that proficiency for yourself. Ugh. But yes, you also gain a merchant scale and 5 waterproof belt pouches in which to store certain parts or other tools, depending on what you need them for. And then
Neat.
Omen says, and you can decide as long as you want. So, thank you for your service, and we'll be in contact.
All right. Sounds good. Now the 4 of us need to have a little chat.
And he just motions for you to then leave. Just go.
I'll leave when I'm damn ready.
Go to the ship?
Let's go to the beach.
Let's go to the beach. Beach.
Beach party it is.
Okay. Yeah, so you guys all leave the Acq Inc. headquarters, and as you're leaving and the door opens as you make your way out, you hear the voice of Jim Darkmagic saying, "Have a magical day!" As a little bit of prestidigitation kind of shoots around the door.
Can I, like, shoot him back, like, finger guns and a wink?
Sure. And as you do, you see that Jim had actually just descended down the stairs. It seemed like it was like an automated voice recording whenever you would open and whenever you would exit the door to leave. But as you turn around and wink and do a finger guns towards Omen, Jim sees this, and as the door is closing, he just goes, "No! Jim is the one who winks!" And that is the last thing that you hear from him as the door closes. So yeah, you guys make your way down the coast of Saltmarsh back to the beachhead where Albus wanted to have this conversation between the lot of you.
Yeah, as Hish is walking along the beach, he's sort of rolling the monocle between his fingers. And when they found a comfortable spot out of earshot from most people, I think he kind of stops and just gives Albus a pointed look. So, if I put on this monocle, what am I going to see, Albus?
Oh, I'm sure nothing other than what you're going to see right now. That's not magical at all.
I put it up to my eye.
You are now looking through slightly clouded glass, as a little bit of the sea air has caused condensation on the front.
Well, she was full of shit. I'd toss it onto the beach.
I'm not so certain.
Well, if you want it, go pick it up.
No, not about that. I mean about what she said.
I also have to agree. But
Wait, you didn't know about this?
I have some extra information. Albus, if you don't mind me sharing.
Go ahead.
Are you both slimes? Is this
Albus-
another ham situation?
I am not a slime.
Albus confided in me when we first got into town that much like me, he was more than one person in a body.
Okay, so ham situation then.
Well, yes and no. Albus Albus LaCroix of Lethlong was a ship captain.
Albus Lowet now?
Albus LaCroix
Mhm.
of Lethlong was a ship captain who lived 80 years ago. It's all coming out today, I guess. A traditionalist, one of the last great whalers of his village, who just couldn't really live with the fact that, well, all the pods migrated far, far away, and that his glory days were over. And that the great, glorious final fishing voyage that he was leading his crew on was a fool's errand that was going to get them all killed. I met this gentleman, or this gentleman encountered me 80 years ago. I have no idea what's happening in chat.
Don't worry about it.
He was desperate, willing to do anything to save his starving crew and his dying village, or what he thought was his dying village. And that's how I made my way to Lethlong.
You saved his village?
Mm-hmm.
That doesn't sound so bad.
How did you accomplish such a thing?
The creature that I once was, an aboleth, as you've been allowed to know before, I was quite comfortable letting you know. Can exert some sort of control over the surrounding biology. Just brought the fish back. Sorry, I'm getting ahead of myself. All this I found out when his grandson told me 3 years ago. Whenever I woke up like this, looking like this.
Like a handsome man?
Yeah. Whenever I woke up looking like Albus.
So, okay, I guess my question that remains is, how did that happen?
I can't remember. I don't remember anything that happened before then. Little glimpses of what I was, what I used to be, and this roiling pain inside my head. But that's about it.
Well, Can you still do that stuff? The control thing?
Not. I'm getting there, but not nearly to that extent. Like, I'm a lot better now than I used to be. Like, what I did to that woman in anger, I wouldn't have been able to do that whenever I woke up.
You got mad when she called you an Albus.
Whenever she revealed secrets that I wasn't quite ready to have shared.
So, what is it you wish to do then? Do you want to continue being like this, or do you want to be, you before?
I'm not sure why I look like this now, but I am sure that I had a perfectly good reason to look like this. Because otherwise, why would it have happened? But also, a few nights ago, I had a sort of a vision, or I remembered something. They're so indistinguishable that I need to find something called the spiral, which I've asked you about before.
You did, yes.
Something that I have reason to believe is out there on the horizon, as far as I can go. But weakened as I am right now, I am certain I would die before I make any sort of headway.
I mean, you do have 9 hit points, so.
Cut to Monday's show, Arjan gets another nosebleed.
Why does this keep happening?
Look, you didn't have to say it.
I mean, we're certainly in no place to judge.
Are you referring to the royal we?
The
or
two of us.
Yes, okay. I'm gonna be honest, Albus. I don't really know what to make of all of this, mostly because I don't understand most of it. But
Would it help you if you... Do you know what an Albus looks like?
absolutely not. I don't even know what it is.
I'm only vaguely familiar with the name.
Albus will step into the water.
Okay.
Gesture. To, like, follow.
I go.
I mean, fuck, I do this all the time anyway. Let's go.
I know vaguely what they look like, but this will be a fun experience.
When Hish sees Ulman and Jill go, he'll wait and hesitantly go into the water.
And as you're hesitantly heading towards the water, you look over where the obviator lens had been tossed into the sand, and a little crab has actually picked it up in one claw and is currently taking it back out to sea.
I just want to let him have it.
Yeah, he's just kind of taking it back out to the shoreline. But yeah, you watch it.
I'll pick him up on my way and put him in my pocket.
Okay. As you do, it's just kind of doing that like slow crab clamp with his claws. He's trying to get at you, but like he's not very fast.
Right.
Yeah, so you put him in his pocket, and then all four of you set out into the open water. And then, Albus, are you taking them down the 90 feet, or are you just taking them farther out?
Until I believe they'd be able to see my form.
Okay. So it is where you guys are about chest high. Well, I mean, Jill, you're at like mid chest to almost shoulder high up. You have because you're a little bit shorter than your companions. But Ulman and Hish, both of you are comfortable torso. And Albus, you kind of are able to then lay down into the water and just assume a very easy pose along your sides. And what the three of you see is that around Albus there is a almost distortion in the water. It seems like it is just being displaced. And in its shape, you see that there is, towards where his head and shoulders is, it kind of rounds off into almost like a dome style structure that then comes down, and there are lengthy tentacles that extend out towards the base near where Albus's feet are. But it just seems like almost a dolphin-sized creature, but it doesn't have a dorsal fin, it doesn't have the side fins at all. It just seems like it kind of undulates through the water rather than swim. And as Albus moves, you watch as this kind of shape around him moves as well, with each of those distorted tendrils kind of moving in their own ways as well.
He is not moving slowly either.
No, he's very much a speedy boy underwater.
Nope.
Hey, Jill, didn't I promise you something interesting?
Yes, I think so. Why?
I just think that is fulfilled.
I would say this is a debt fulfilled for Albus, but you still, you're still in the red.
Oh, even with everything we've done,
Still
and,
in the
none of
red.
this been interesting.
and at this point, Albus will exit the water.
Hish is turning around and he is walking up the beach.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Jill makes it back to shore pretty quickly because she has a swim speed of 30 feet.
Nice. Yeah, the crab has definitely exited your pocket once you were a lot deeper into the water.
Damn it.
Yeah, he took
My crab.
He took the lens with him.
Oh no! He's just gonna spend
Again.
every day combing the beach with this crab. Well, that was. How could you do that? That thing with the tentacles.
I'm not sure. It just started happening about a week ago.
Well, this is certainly a lot to process. Hish, are you by chance happen to be anything other than a half orc?
I'm going home. Hish is walking up. It's like halfway up the beach.
Yeah, it's just as soon as you guys got back to the beachhead, just nope.
I'll check on you tomorrow.
We
Give a
need to
good
have
night's
dinner.
sleep.
We need to have dinner sometime. I need to discuss something with you. Well,
Yeah, no, Hish is going home.
I thought I thought that everything that's going on with you would be like the extent of what I could process, but okay, I'm starting to see that I have a lot more to process.
And this is why the Obviator had to die.
Well, I mean, is being an aboleth a bad thing?
No, it just tends to rub people the wrong way.
If you're worried about Hish, I'm sure he'll come around. It's just it's a lot, and I can see why you didn't want to, that you didn't want that to come out the way it did. But, I appreciate you being so forthcoming on the subject, when you certainly didn't have to be. I mean, you could have lied about it, but I probably would have known. No offense.
Why would I lie?
Don't know. Some people aren't comfortable with having their dirty laundry aired. Not saying that, who you are is like dirty laundry. Sorry, I'm working on my phrasing.
I think I'm going to go back to the stopping line.
Okay. Right. You do that.
As your bodyguard, of course, I'll be joining you. Unless, of course, you don't want me to.
He just gives a slight smile and nods to Ulman.
Okay, so Albus and Ulman are going back to the snapping line. Jill, where did you say you were going again?
I think Jill's just gonna go on the ship for the evening.
Okay. Sounds good. And when you arrive, Oceanus is there, and he is excitedly just like cradling this picture against his chest that he had gotten signed by Jim Darkmagic earlier in the day. And when he shows it to you, it says, "To my #1 fan," but fan is in quotes. And then it says Jim Darkmagic underneath it. And you can see that he dots his I's with little skulls.
Well, that's certainly...
I never thought in a million years I would get my hands on one.
That's good for you, Oceanus. Good for you.
I think things are really going to pick up. All things considered.
They certainly have. Certainly have.
Because I'm the Secretariat, they even gave me one of these. And he holds out a necklace that looks like it has a large red button on the inside that has the Acq Inc symbol. And he says, "This allows me to communicate to head office. They can give us jobs and things."
Well, that's incredibly helpful, actually. I'm glad you're a part of the crew.
Yes. I am quite glad honestly, I'm quite glad that you all found me. When you did, my life has honestly turned out much better than it was before. I mean, I live with the sea elves. They're nice. We eat a lot of seafood and kelp and sea grasses, and that's fine. But have you ever longed for something more? More than just your average life. Before this, I worked as, well, border patrol for our sea elves.
I think at one point I did. But now I just wish that things were simpler.
How do you mean?
Well, I think I quite liked being just a sailor.
Well, you're
And
on a boat? Isn't that sailing? Well, I mean, we haven't really sailed. We docked it, and then that was about it, but... Same amenity?
sailing with, strings attached, I guess. So, but in any case, I'm happy for you that you're, getting more out of life.
I found that, for me, the best way to really get out here, I still do care about my family and the other sea elves, and I should probably go and see them and let them know I'm okay. But for me, getting the most of life was getting this job. This is my dream job. Really, secretarian, maybe not so much, but just working for the organization. I don't really care what I do.
That's...
The people that I admire work here. And for me, that's enough.
Well, that certainly sounds nice.
I like to think so. At least a little bit. If it didn't sound nice, I probably would have maybe left. Honestly, I'm not sure. I'm kind of just kicking it. They didn't send search parties when I first got captured, so at one point, did they really care about my disappearance? But at the same time, maybe they just think I'm going on a long reconnaissance.
Perhaps.
Either way, I am still mildly concerned.
About
the lizard folk that were on board, the weapons that they had. If they're planning on raising an army against my people, I need to let them know.
Well, I mean, I certainly feel like that's a good decision should you need time to go do it, or perhaps were you in need of escort? How far away is your village?
It's about 20 miles. I could swim there. It would take me some time, but I could get there.
No. I'm sure I could talk to Hish and see if we can, take the boat out at least, save you some trouble. That would probably be good.
The way I figure it, our headquarters, our base, isn't going to be ready for at least another, what did Omen say, 4 days, 5 days?
Something like that.
I can swim to my family, visit them, and then I can come back and be there for the opening.
But do you want to go alone?
And at that, he's just like, I think I will take you up on your offer. At least halfway there.
All right. That sounds good. I'll
This is
figure out.
This is still the boat that captured me, so I'm not sure how that would go around if they've taken note. You might not
Oh,
check to
no.
see if the name's different.
I think Hish may have repainted it. Not entirely sure. Oh, the name's on the other side. I don't want to go check right now. I'll ask him later. We can get that fixed up. No problem. Yes. Right, we can do that. And of course, I will figure out how much you owe me for this afterwards, but that'll take a night of calculating.
I've already said, when you rescued me, I owe you my life.
Oh, I guess that is kind of a one-time payment thing, isn't it? Oh, very well, that works.
He just, as you say that, he's like, gives you a nod and then has to think a little bit about it. Like, wait, why is she so... But he's definitely down to just kind of do some paperwork throughout the evening with you. And Bims, your red pseudo-dragon companion that has just been hanging around the ship, flying around the harbor, eventually makes his way back. And you see that this cat-sized tiny dragon comes back with a little wineskin and looks at the two of you, uncorks it, and just kind of starts taking a couple drinks. He seems to really enjoy wine. Until eventually he has his fill, just sets the wineskin down as it begins to drain out onto the floor, and tipsily flies up to a rafter where your pseudo-dragon eventually just falls asleep. And that is where we are going to go into our break for the evening. So I would like to say thank you to everybody who stopped by. Thank you to these awesome players for putting up with my bullshit every week. And we are going to try and be back in 5 to 10 minutes. So don't go no place unless it is to grab a food, grab a drink, grab a friend, or go to bit.ly/adventure merch and pick yourself up something nice, or possibly leave us a review on either our YouTube or our audio cast. So let us know how we're doing. So with that, thank you guys so much for stopping by and putting up with our technical difficulties at the beginning, and we will see you all soon. All right, everybody. Bye-bye! Hello, everybody, and we are back. We are getting into the later evening after you guys have accomplished your first job for Acquisitions Incorporated. So, Albus and Ulman, you guys are going to the snapping line, so that way you can get some food. Would you like to have any dinner conversation while you were there, as Jill is spending the remainder of her night on the ship?
Sorry, I really thought I was going to be able to tell you that before everybody else.
I understand the circumstances were beyond your control. If I had known, I could have recognized what was happening perhaps and tried to prevent it, but such is life. We haven't known each other all that long, in the lifespans we have supposedly lived. Well, these people even less so. I understand not wanting to be forthcoming with something like that, especially with how it might be misconstrued.
Right.
But I prefer to judge you by the actions that I've seen in the time that I've known you, and not some arbitrary label.
Albus thinks to what just happened and the 3 people he just murdered, and then goes back to eating his whatever was placed in front of him.
It's the non-alcoholic chowder.
Right. So, occultancy.
Yeah, I figured, why the hell not? If I'm trying to do the most good I can to make up for lost time, why not have a little help in determining what is good?
DM, would I have any insight as to how the occultancy actually like works? Like, is it actually like good, or is it like good fortune?
The way that
Like,
Omen
is it morals or fortune? Sorry.
it is morals based on the franchise. So it's not necessarily if you believe that this person should be killed, like, should we kill this person? And it'll tell, like, your occulting divining will let you know yes or no. But it is if it is a detriment or a boon to the franchise as a whole.
Okay.
Not on a personal one-to-one, should I kill this person? Shake the magic 8-ball and hope for the best.
Okay.
I mean, I guess the other thing I was considering, I'm sure there's still time to change, was Hordes-person. I figured if I can get things quickly, depending on how quickly that is, you know, there are many things you sometimes wish you had that you don't. And if I can get those delivered anytime, anywhere, that could be good.
What do
Could
you
help
wish
us.
that you had right now?
Well, I guess that's kind of a bad question to ask for me. I don't often want for much, do I?
Guess that's true.
But I would give her a loot, honestly.
A loot?
Yeah, it's been a long time since I played, but I used to be quite good.
Albus immediately gets up from the table. And makes its way over to the shop.
Okay. The faithful quartermaster.
Yes.
Okay. So yeah, Ulman, you just watch as Albus just mid-meal stands up and heads out the door. Are you following after him, or are you continuing to eat your food?
I have to. It's my job.
Yep. It's your other job. So yeah, you follow him. You guys end up going to the faithful quartermaster. Captain Zendros ends up welcoming the two of you in, gives the same spiel of if you need anything, you just need to let her know. And she is willing to sell you the loot. Yeah, she is totally willing to sell you the loot for the price that it is listed in the player's handbook. Which I believe 15 gold pieces? Let's see. Why is it not there? Why, God? Yeah, I'll say for 15 gold pieces, and if it ends up being less...
A loot is 35 gold pieces.
Oh, 35 then, if you were looking for the standard one. There it is.
Damn.
Yep, she gladly gives you the loot for 35 gold. Says, would you like any special orders while I'm at it? Your friend's already paying me for my services. He's looking for that flaming sword.
How much was that flaming sword?
2,500. They've put down 50 gold pieces as a payment. It should be here within the next week and a half. Or I guess you...
Can I put
sword
down money
coasters.
for them?
You can certainly put money down for them.
Cool. And he just throws his coin bag over. I don't like the way it jingles on my hip. There's 232 gold there.
Okay. Yeah, she'll take it.
$32 plus what makes that an even number?
32 plus You need like
18 would make that an even number.
Yep.
God, I'm gonna have to pull out a fucking calculator for this.
Albus goes over and gets like Ulman's like abacus thing, and it's just like
doing some
headache
counting on the-
intensifies a little bit.
Both in real life and in the game. I'll put 818 gold down.
Ooh. Sounds good. So you guys have successfully put down 1,050 gold pieces onto Hish's weapon. And Zendros just... Well, I'm sure they'll really appreciate it. I haven't seen them in a while, so I'm pretty sure they'll be glad to know that the overall cost of their item now is really only going to be 1,450. You paid off half of it.
They're a friend.
I should certainly hope so. Is there anything else that you would like to spend your money on here? I have a few other things.
Can you get a jacket exactly like this, but with the stats of studded leather armor?
And she looks at it. Come back tomorrow.
How much will that be?
She is going to give you, again, same price as the player's handbook. She does not seem to try and be swindling people. That'll be 45 gold pieces.
All right.
And she just extends her hands out in a very grateful bow. Says, is there anything else that I can get you? Any orders you'd like to place? Did you end up making it through that ham? I could put in another order for you.
Oh, Albus just looks at Ulman. One eyebrow raised.
Not today.
All right. I'll keep my eye out, though.
Yes, please.
She just gives you a smile and kind of like a quizzical look. Just...
Sorry, Ham brings a lot of good memories to me.
It would appear so.
It's been always a staple at special moments in my life. I don't know why.
Well, next time you have a special occasion, you'll know where to get the best ham in town.
I certainly will, thank you.
Okay.
And I think we'll make our way back to the snapping line after that.
Sure. Have you guys been staying at the snapping line to sleep, or have you been sleeping on the ship?
I think we've been staying at the snapping line.
Okay. Yeah, so it's just been it'll be another 2 silver pieces to stay there this evening.
Oh, but that's not paid off?
You guys rent a room there, so it's literally just every night that you are there, you accrue more. You accrue more debt.
Okay.
Ulman. Dear sir.
I have a lute now. I would like to tune it.
Okay. And Albus, you were saying something? Oh, okay. Sounds good. Yeah, so you tune your lute. You end up getting all of that taken care of. No issue. And Hish, when you go home, there is a nice warm... there is a nice dinner that has kind of been prepped. But it seems a little bit cold at this point, like maybe it was made an hour or so ago. Still edible, still very much warm, but it's not as hot as it was when it was first made. And when you open up the door, there is a human woman that is inside the house and just goes shh and points over, and there is a small little tiefling boy who is currently just bundled up in some blankets, wrapped up in bed. And she says, "We can talk outside." And so she ends up, the two of you end up kind of like putting some food into your bowls, and then make your way out onto the front porch. And as the two of you sit down, she just takes a big breath in, exhales.
He wasn't a handful today, was he?
Oh, I mean, he always kind of is, but at his age, he's at least well adapted, I would say. I saw you go up to that tower today. Is that a friend of yours calling your name out in the streets?
Yes. New guy I've been traveling with. Goes by Ulman, or Ham, or Ulman.
He goes by Ham?
He's technically... Oh yeah, you would not believe the last few days that I've had.
Well, tell me about it. I mean, you've kind of been out and about, and I mean, I'm pretty accustomed to your night work at this point, but it seems like there's at least a little bit that's weighing on your mind, and part of it having to do with a man who doesn't know if his name is Ham or not.
I mean, he knows his name is Ham. He's two people. He's a slime and a man who's 85 years old and was cursed into a dagger.
And her eyes just get kind of big. She brings the bowl of stew up and just...
My thoughts exactly.
That's...
And that...
Okay.
Go ahead.
Is he dangerous?
No. In fact, kind of, I mean, other than his pure strength, he's kind of, I wouldn't say harmless, but very,
A doof?
Well, doof seems kind of mean. He's just very upright citizen.
Oh.
You know?
Okay. Well...
It's not that he's not smart. He did have some trouble with the documents. But everyone except Jill did, I think. And maybe Albus. I'm not sure where he's at on the... He seems very... I don't want to think about Albus.
Who is Albus? Albus and Jill,
I know. I'm sorry. I haven't really kept you in the loop.
It's okay. We live together. You don't have to tell me everything that goes on in your life. Right? It's a level of comfort thing. And I know that there are some things that are better left off unsaid.
Nothing like that is going on.
Hopefully. I believe you either way. So I'll believe you if you tell me that you don't want to talk about this Albus person right now.
I should talk about it. Okay. So, Ulman, Jill, and Albus, I found them Where did I find them? In the snapping line. Heard about, what's I can't remember his name, but the crusty old man who's always in the snapping line telling his tall tales about the haunted house. And those three seemed interested in going. Jill with a little bit more monetary persuasion. And we cleared it out, and it was great, except for the room full of spiders.
Oh. Like full of them?
A stupid amount of spiders. Just a useless amount of spiders. Anyway.
Just burn the whole place. Get rid of all of them.
That's what I said, but they did it was a smuggler's den, turns out. So we wiped out the smugglers, also wiped out the crew of a ship, got the ship. Gellin was keen on buying the house. Didn't happen in the auction. Some fancy fucker waltzed in and took it for 3,000 gold. Turns out he was working for Acquisitions Incorporated, which is that big tower. La-di-la-di-la. We got jobs. Ulman, while we're on the ship, is like, by the way, I'm a slime man, and also my name is Ham, and I'm a dagger, and I'm like 3 things at once, which I'm like, okay, that's beyond a little bit what I can handle, but I can try. And then we go on this job, maybe murder some people, and take their stuff back to Acquisitions Incorporated. They need us to do this temporary job thing. I guess now I'm working for them. I didn't say yes, but they were just like, welcome to Acquisitions Incorporated. I'm like, okay, fine. And then while we're on the thing, this lady's like, hey, your friend's an aboleth. And I'm like, what the fuck is an aboleth? And so Albus takes us out in the water, and he turns into this tentacle dolphin thing with a weird mouth, and it's very fast, and I didn't know what to think. I just left. I came here.
Aboleths are dangerous.
I don't know what an aboleth is, Talia. As far as I know, it's a weird tentacle dude thing. Also kind of a handsome man.
We didn't say he was handsome, but that's besides the point.
He's got a scruffy kind of...
Like
you'd understand if you saw.
Charm?
Yes, rustic charm. But whereas like Ulman is like a beefy rustic charm, Albus is like in the back of the library rustic charm.
Oh. But he's an aboleth.
I guess.
Has he said anything that would make you think he's dangerous? Has he exhibited any kind of attitude that would lead you to believe he's dangerous? My grandmother would tell me all sorts of stories about the terrors of the deep when I was living along the coast.
That doesn't sound good. That doesn't make me feel good.
So, you've heard of krakens, big angry tentacles out in the sea. Usually just stories. Imagine one of those, but both from the ocean and not. Apparently they were some kind of old creature. The gods got mad at them and sentenced them far, far away, and they've just been here. Usually residing...
Doing what?
I don't know. I've never known. I mean, we hear stories from grandmother was mostly talking about how every once in a while, a group of sailors would get an idea into their heads that they had found some sort of abandoned city beneath the waves, called it a lair, and when they went in, they never came back out. Others, they just said, were afflicted. They were never really the same afterwards. But if
I think he said something about some kind of control or some... I know he's maybe possessing a dude named Albus, and that's why he's Albus.
Hish, please be careful. I know we're not together anymore, but I still care about you.
I'm doing my best, and I didn't have any reason to think that Albus was any kind of real dangerous. I just thought he was maybe a little trigger happy, a little, murder happy.
Well, isn't that also a little bit dangerous?
The nature of my entire job is dangerous. You've always known that.
Yeah.
And I know you don't like it, but that's just how it has to be.
I suppose. Hish, if this is the kind of thing that you should tell the guards about. If there's a monster living among us and he's already shown that he's capable of murder.
Well, he's capable of murdering as a man. I haven't been able to see what he does as a fish thing. I don't know what judgment to make here. It really weirded me out.
I mean,
He's been great on the crew so far. I have a ship that needs men. I'm already signed on with him at Acquisitions Incorporated. I don't know what to...
Do they know what he is?
I assume not.
Because that's one thing to hire somebody, but if you're hiring people without even doing background checks, that just seems like poor employment opportunities.
This whole company gives me just the weirdest feeling. But I know I'm going to get a shit ton of money out of it. A shit ton of money that we need.
And she kind of looks down and looks back into the house a little bit. She says, it would be nice to have some meals that weren't necessarily just fish every once in a while.
Would be really nice.
And you say that you have a ship now, so do I
do.
call you Captain Hish?
Yes, I suppose you could. You can call me Captain Sunguard of the Oliver's Triumph.
And at that she says, you named it after him.
Yeah, of course.
And she just gets a big grin and she says, he's going to be so happy when he sees his name on the side of the ship.
Right. I don't know if it's going to be safe to bring him around the ship yet.
If you're ever out of town if you and are you guys co-workers? Are they your employees because you're captain? How does that... If you and this new crew of yours are out of town, I can take him onto the docks then. Because if... I trust you.
I really would want to show him myself. I mean, I'd want it to be his someday.
Well, just make sure it doesn't sink.
When have I ever sunk a
And
bad?
you
That's a
both,
bad.
she just gives you this very knowing look.
Right. Won't sink it. And I'll be careful. And maybe after I find out a little bit more about Albus and what's going on there, I can bring Ollie around and show him the ship.
And she just nods.
Just promise me you won't go to the guards yet. Just promise me you'll keep your mouth shut.
I said that I trust you.
I swear to all of the gods, if you open your mouth about this to your mother.
Okay. One time and I'm on the shit list, but you know what?
It's
fine.
not one time. It was not one time. I know you told her everything. There are some things that woman doesn't need to know.
You're right. I promise I won't tell Mother about your coworker.
I appreciate it.
And at that, she just says, well, I'd appreciate it if you helped out with dishes. Come on.
Didn't really think I was going to have to do this anymore, but here we are.
You still live here. Get in there. And
Right.
she just kind of leads you in, and the two of you just have a very nice, quiet, quiet evening in. Unless there's anything else that you would like to do for the evening.
Not this evening, no.
Okay. So then the next day rolls around. Albus, are you returning to your deep sea area?
Yes, at some point I would also like to check in on my wizard friend.
Okay. So when you go and revisit your wizard friend, when you show up, he just says, Albus, where have you been? You have been my inspiration, my muse, and then you were gone, and nothing makes sense anymore. I need you here.
Oh, is this going to be a regular occurrence? I've sort of been looking into other work.
What other work?
Acquisitions Incorporated.
And he just looks very dramatically out the window, and on the hill, like in his window view, is certainly their tower. And he just, well, what is it that they're offering you that I can't offer you? I have money. I have books. I have lots of books. You've just been, Albus, please.
Can you offer me all of the secrets of the world?
Everything that I can. Maybe not the world, but my entire library is yours.
Have I already gone through his entire library?
Yeah.
Oh. Sorry, it's just not enough. You don't have the answers I need.
What answers do you need?
Do you know what the spiral is?
And he prestidigitates.
I will give him Galaxy Brain.
Okay. Galaxy Brain is still a D6?
Yes.
and he is definitely feeling it right now. As soon as you galaxy brain him, and he just says, "Oh, that's the one right there." And he is going to do his best. And he just says, okay, like a spiral, like a snail shell. Are you looking for that? Like a drain. Like what spiral? Where is this located?
Do I have any sort of like geographical like direction based off of my vision?
So you know that it is where you were being pulled to was out to the west, and you in your dream state had gone far enough out that you had seen what looked like a large whirlpool, but you aren't necessarily sure where that was.
Toward the west. As far as you can go.
I mean, I know that the waters get kind of rough near the Evermeet. There might be spirals out there. It could be a wizard's tower. Those spiral. Lots of things spiral. Or are you looking for more of like a specific spiral? I rolled an 11 on my intelligence check, so he's not really sure what he can give you.
I was told to seek the spiral. I'm sure we would know what that meant once we found it.
I if you continue to be my assistant, it just visit and make me feel the way that you keep making me feel, or the way that I feel around you, and I will do this for you. I will find this. I will find this spiral for you, Albus.
I will keep coming when I can.
And at that, like he feel like you can tell he is visibly pained, and just says, "If there's anything I can do to change your mind." Please. And Albus, you wear a long coat. Do you have gloves on?
Nope.
Or anything like that? So he actually goes to reach out and actually try and take a hold of your hand. And as he does, he ends up recoiling a little bit as he does and looks down, and his skin starts to become a little bit more translucent. And it's almost like there is like this weird film that starts to develop over it. And he just... I don't... And you watch as just... It's almost like steam begins to kind of come off of his hand. What is this? What do I do? What? Albus, help me. Help me.
I've seen this before.
You have.
I've 100% seen this before.
Oh, certainly.
So, is this something that distance would allow him to recover from, or is this irreversible?
You aren't sure at this point.
Right, because I've never left.
You've never left in the meantime. As far as you're aware, this is irreversible, and you watch as this mucus is just steadily creeping up his arm. It's going quicker now.
Is it fatal?
From what you're aware, he needs to submerge himself in water. That is the only way, otherwise left unattended, most certainly.
I will 100% let him know everything that is happening to him and escort him to the beach.
So
that is what he would do.
Okay. So as you let him know, his eyes just get very large. And just no.
I cast Charm Person.
Okay. Yeah. He got a natural 20.
Shit.
So you see him go out the front doors, and as the sunlight hits against him, you watch as just more of this weird steam begins to start coming off of him, and he just starts yelling very, very, very loudly, and he is running to the cliffside of where Saltmarsh juts out into the ocean. He is trying to think.
Would I be able to hear his yelling?
Make a perception check, because this is in the next day. Where is Hish?
Depending on what time it is, he would either be at the boat or at his house.
You would be able to. Yeah, make a perception check.
I also would have escorted Albus to the
16
place.
So 16, you definitely hear a man screaming while working on the ship. Ulman, you had dropped off Albus at daycare, and then you made your way. Were you making your way back to the jumping point? Or where were you going?
I said last night I was going to visit Hish in the morning to check in on them, so that's what I'm going to do.
Okay. So yeah, you have, are you just like yelling Hish's name in the street?
They told me what their house looked like, I think.
Yeah, the last time I pointed out my house to him up on the hill.
Yeah. So Ulman, you would have been met by a human female who would have said, Ulman is currently out on the docks at the ship. And so you would have actually gone to meet Hish while on the ship. And Jill, you had stayed there overnight. And are you guys on deck, or did you go underneath the ship at all?
I'm gonna say Jill's busy.
Okay. Jill, there are plenty.
Jill wants no part of it.
Jill, there are plenty of writing desks that can be found throughout the ship, so you could have just claimed a room as yours, seeing as how no one else has really done that yet, and definitely are just currently looking over your documancy kit.
She has something specific in mind she wants to do. She's in the process of writing a letter.
Okay. So you were in the process of writing a letter. Albus, you had something that you wanted to do while this man is just screaming, running towards the cliffside?
Yeah, I would very much like to mind link to him and just like try to calm him down.
He just begins yelling, "No, no, no, get out of my head!" And then he jumps. And
oh my god.
Hish, you and Ulman are on the deck of the ship. Ulman, you have just kind of met up with Hish, and the two of you have heard this screaming. Ulman, you can make a perception check or a insight check if you would like.
21.
This definitely sounds like the wizard, as you have met him enough times hanging out with Albus. And Hish, you and Ulman both look up onto the cliffside near where the wizard's house was, and you just see this man that it looks like there's almost like some kind of steam or smoke kind of gently billowing off from him, running, and then just jumps off the side of this cliff, and you watch as he plummets down into the water. And with a far off splashing sound, you hear him enter into the waves.
Oh my god. Ulman? Ulman.
Yeah.
Ulman. What do we do?
Yes.
What was that?
I don't know. Should we go check?
Oh my god. Hish is I think he's gonna take one of the he sort of jumps off the side of the ship into one of the like little dinghies and is going to row out to where this man jumped.
I jump in.
Okay. So as you guys are making your way over towards this rocky area where this man has just jumped off of, Albus, what are you doing?
It's further than 60 feet down, right?
Oh yes, most certainly.
Is there any chance this dude is still alive?
Are you kind of like peering over the ledge?
Yeah.
Okay.
Do I see him peering over the ledge?
Make a perception check with disadvantage, because in order to properly row this boat, you have to have your back kind of turned towards your destination.
Okay, well, 6 at disadvantage.
Nope. You do not see him. Ulman, were you in the boat as well, or you had said that you jumped in the water? Okay.
I meant I jumped in the boat.
Okay, yeah, you can make a perception check as well.
9.
Neither of them spot you, Albus.
Alive?
You look down and you see the broken form of this wizard who apparently did not escape the rocks that were at the bottom of this cliffside, and you are just kind of watching as the waves are pulling him into the sea. It looks like the thick red robes that he enjoyed wearing oh so much are actually contributing to him being dragged down.
Albus is just gonna sit down. Just lie down.
Just in the middle of the road? Or like off to the side? Okay. So as you do, several of the wizard's neighbors actually begin kind of coming out of their homes and checking around. Just, what happened? What's going on? And they begin making their way over towards where you are, Albus. And they just say, Mr. Albus, as they had been introduced to you through the wizard. What happened?
He's not in a state where he can respond.
Somebody get this man a blanket! Somebody! And then they are going to try and do. These people will eventually come over, give you a nice warm mug of some kind of spiced wine, wrap you up in a nice blanket, and they just say, "We know that you were close to him. It's okay. It's okay. When you're ready, just let us know what happened."
He's not going to be ready for a while.
That's okay.
Is Hish able to grab the man out of the water and pull him into the...
He looks like he is... He's kind of, like, again, he's pulled down into the waves at this point. He looks like he's maybe about 15 feet down at this point, just with his robe kind of pulling him down. But with you have like a 20 strength. You can definitely swim down there, no problem. Kind of like get the coat off of him and then bring him back up onto the dinghy. And
and I think Ulman would be helping me too, I'm sure.
Well,
Pull him up onto the...
actually, did I hear them yelling about, like, get this man a blanket?
Make a perception check again, as this time you were at the bottom of a cliff with a bunch of crashing waves.
15.
I'm going to say you heard people shouting up top, but you don't know what exactly for.
How difficult do I think it would be to swim to shore?
To swim to shore? It would probably take you quite a bit of effort because, again, you're so close to the cliffside that all of those waves are just going to try and be slapping you up against the rocks.
Hish, do you hear that yelling?
No, kind of busy, buddy.
I'm worried about Albus.
Why?
How fast can you get me back to shore? And I start trying to pull the body up.
I mean, as fast as this little dinghy can go. Ulman, I don't know, grab a paddle. And he's taking Ulman back to shore.
Okay. So as you are both making your way back to shore, looking at this figure, there is something very much not right with this dude. Especially Ulman, you've seen him before. He is no longer sizzling, which is a plus. But his skin does seem to have taken on more of a milkier color. And you see that there is just like this thick layer of slime that seems to kind of coat his entire body at this point. It seems to kind of just be either excreted from his skin or something similar, but he definitely does not look nearly as well. You see that the on his face, it looks almost like the skin got thinner, and you can actually see a lot of the vein marks that are more like in his cheeks along his temples. But also still looking at this figure, he definitely took a great fall and hit some pretty hefty rocks, so his body is just mangled, to say the least.
Indoor. The mucus that's over his skin. In earlier episodes, I sort of was flavoring my healing words as sort of like this chapstick film.
Mm-hmm.
Would you describe it as sort of the same sort of thing?
Oh, yes.
Mm.
It's more of like a Vaseline kind of ooze that's on this guy, more so than like a gack kind of substance.
Oh, gods, I hope he's okay. I don't
He's
know
not,
what
Ulman. Dead.
they were working on. No, Albus. I don't know what they were working on. He didn't tell me.
Ulman.
What?
I need you to answer me honestly. Do you think Albus did this? Is there a chance Albus did this?
Yes. I would like to hear his explanation. I trust him a lot, and I believe that if he did this, there's good reason, or it was an accident.
You fucking good reason. You go find Albus. I'll go see about getting this man some funeral rites.
I appreciate it.
Yeah. And when we get to shore, I think Hish is going to wave some of the other citizens over and just get him all sorted out and then head back to the ship.
Okay. The priests of Valkyr all kind of nod in agreement, as many of them just kind of patrol the shoreline. And they say that they will take care of the citizen of Saltmarsh, whatever befell him. And they'll try and do their best to find out the cause, if at all possible. And then afterward, you said that you were going back to the ship?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you're heading back to the ship. Ulman, you are heading up to visit Albus. And Jill, you were writing a letter?
Yeah, and I think at this point, like, she's done, like, writing the letter and is probably heading out to go drop it off at the post.
Okay. You know, actually, by looking at your and kind of getting more familiarized with your documancy bag, that the scroll tube that you have is more akin to it's like the drive-through bank slots where you can just put your letter into the tube and it will get sent through the Acq Inc. channels rather than you having to try and find a courier.
Okay, so can it be, like, sent to just, like, a random citizen?
Yeah.
Can it include items as well? Or just documents?
Just documents. Items would be more of a hordes person thing.
Okay, well, I guess I'm asking more like gold. Would that be possible to send?
I'll say yes.
Okay. So she'll like take out her tube and she'll take the letter that is addressed to Faerora Lyrandar and 157 gold and put it in the tube and send it off.
And with a very satisfying, you feel the tube kind of shake a little bit, and looking back in, it is completely empty. It seems like your letter has been sent.
That is very convenient.
Okay.
Okay, well.
Yeah, and as you exit out onto the deck of the ship, you see Hish just kind of beelining towards the ship with this very like forlorn look in their eye.
Hish, I was meaning to chat with you if you had
What, Jill?
Well,
I'm sorry. I just pulled a slimy dead man out of the sea.
I'm sorry, what?
I don't know. There may or may not be a situation with Albus. There's definitely the wizard that was in town. I forget his name. Jumped off of the cliff while screaming. So there's something strange going on here. What is it that you need, Jill?
Well, I mean, we can delay this conversation.
No, honestly, I would welcome the distraction.
Well, I've been meaning to speak to you. You know my previous job. I was with the Silvered Salmon, that ship that had come into port recently.
Standing around looking pretty, yes. And I think Hish is sort of pulling you into either one of the lower quarters downstairs or just like maybe even the captain's quarters.
Yeah.
Yes, the standing around looking pretty job. Well, a few days ago, I resigned from that post.
Oh. Congratulations.
Thank you. It's something I do often. I don't really stick around one ship for too long. However, I see now that you have come into possession of a ship.
Well, yes, that does seem a little obvious.
Right. And, well...
You want me to pay you for your services?
Well, I actually, she'll take out the contract and, like, unfold it, whip it out, and just be like, no, look, this isn't like a, pay me extra type of job, but this just puts some, like, formal parameters around our working relationship.
Jill, I can tell that you put a lot of work into this document.
Well, technically, Ulman was the one who did it, and
Well, then a lot of thought.
Perhaps. I mean, it's familiar with this type of. I usually try to get something drafted up. It's just easier this way.
I'm not going to sign that.
I'm sorry?
You're forgiven?
I guess what I mean is... Well, I just don't understand.
Jill, if you want to be here, then I want you here. But you may come and go as you please. I would rather you not go, but I'm not going to stop you. And if you do stay, I'm going to put you to more work than just standing around and saying nice words to a, what did you call her? A bitch queen.
Well, yes, I made sure that, I had more sailing duties. I mean, it's outlined here, and I actually had the duration put down for a month. So, for the time being, I would like to do this. It just, you must understand, the formalities, it just makes things easier.
In what way? This whole, I guess, kind of adventuring around thing. It's been fun. However, I don't really, that's not the sort of work I'm accustomed to. This is more my wheelhouse. Being employed. But you are employed, and I'm not your employer.
Right. So my relationship with Acquisitions Incorporated is qualified and quantified. However, this relationship does not have the proper labels on it yet. So I don't understand what's funny.
I just think it's rather unnecessary, don't you think?
Oh,
if you want certain jobs, by all means, take them on the ship. Tell me what you're doing. You feel comfort in the formality of keeping me at arm's length with the label of employer in your contract.
Jill doesn't say anything.
How about this? Leave your contract on my desk, and I'll read it over. And I shall see to it that anything you outline in your contract will be met. But I'm not signing it. That's not how I run my ship. And if you're worried about the money, you'll get paid.
Well, yes, I figured that much, but I like things being outlined in black and white. I like labels and I like contingencies. And yes, you're right. I like having things at arm's length. It's easier for me. So I understand that this... Look, you're all quite lovely people, but it's easier to be employees. And
Why don't you want to make friends, Jill?
Friends are, well, anyone you care about really is just someone else to worry about.
And you don't want to worry about anybody. I take it you already have people to worry about.
Yeah.
Hish takes out a quill from a little pot on his desk, and he signs the contract, and he hands it back to Jill.
You know, I did add a slight addendum to Omen's document, in which, upon your signature, that you would share some stories from me from your sailing days on the Iron Duke. So I look forward to hearing about that in the future.
I do one nice thing.
See, the gold is fine and well, but your story is one that I'm very interested in.
It's not a particularly interesting story.
Well, by all means, I would still like to hear it. There is an air of mystery about it, you know.
Maybe another time. I have a dead man and a fish man to deal with. Would you like to come with me?
Oh, you know, I didn't necessarily have this on my docket for today, but I suppose you can never really control when a dead man and a fish man comes into your life, so why not? Oh, while we're there, I gotta tell you about what Oceanus wanted me to discuss here. We could talk on the way.
And as you bring that up, the door actually gets thrown open to the captain's quarters. You see Oceanus is just covered in this very filthy looking water, and he has several rats at the end of his trident, and he just says, "I took care of the problem in the bilge. No one asked me to, but the job is done. Onward!" And he points his trident out to the open ocean. And we are going to transition over to Ulman. So Ulman, you are running down the streets up to the wizard's building, and when you arrive, you see that there is a small crowd of people now around Albus that are just trying to make him feel better about things. You see that he has been given not only a large cup of a very nice heated looking wine, and you can tell it's heated because it has a little bit of steam coming off of it. Somebody else has presented him with a bowl of some warm soup, and they're each just blanket over him saying, you can say it whenever you're ready, whenever you want to talk about it. And he just looks like he's giving like 1,000-yard stare into his container of liquid.
Shove my way through the crowd. Albus! Oh, God. Oh, I'm so glad you're all right. Or at least not dead. Are you okay?
Do you know this man?
Yes, I'm his bodyguard. I should have been here.
Please remind me one time the wizard's name. My best friend, who I totally remember his name.
The wizard's name. Let's get into that. Because I also continuously forget this guy's fucking name. But it was... KyleWithAnN. KyleWithAnN the Unspoken.
Sorry. KyleWithAnN and I were supposed to start an experiment. He started without me. Something went wrong.
Albus, is that the complete truth?
Are you asking him this in the crowd of people?
I assumed you were talking to me mentally, actually.
No, that's what he was saying out loud.
Oh, okay. Then Ulman just nods. All right. Do you want my help back to the inn?
And his neighbors will all be like, "It's okay. You've been through a lot. He was always experimenting with odd things here and there. We'll be sure to tell the guards what you've told us." And they just they let you know that you can keep the blanket that you have been given, as well as the cups. Are yours.
And, yeah, he'll walk back. With Ulman.
Yep. Where are you guys headed to?
I just shove your ribs as we're walking. Tap my forehead.
I connect with the dagger.
Oh yeah, I suppose that would make more sense. Is that actually what happened? I really want to be on your side, but I need you to trust me as much as I trust you, I suppose.
Mentally. This stays between you and I. I don't want to keep secrets, but I'd been talking with Kellen for a while, helping him solve mysteries, helping him expand his craft. After some time, usually a lot longer than the few days we've been here, the few weeks we've been here. That exposure, that psychic expansion, the people in Leftlong, they called it a blessing. That's why they stuck around a lot longer. They were able to breathe underwater. Did they get a little stronger? Is a little stronger?
It's a little strong.
They they got a little stronger. Apparently not everybody would agree with that. I didn't realize it would happen this fast, and I didn't realize it would have this sort of reaction. I didn't mean for this to happen.
I believe you. This stays between you and I. Be careful, I guess.
All right. And you guys are making your way to the snapping line?
Yeah.
Okay. So as you are making your way to your favored bar, that is when you actually see Hish and Jill also making their way up towards where you guys were actually coming from. And you kind of see each other from farther down the street.
Ulman. Albus.
Hail, friend!
Indeed. Going to the snapping line to
Rest up.
discuss.
Our friend
Rest
here is a little shook.
What happened?
Lab accident.
I want an insight check.
Sure.
Insight check.
All right. Ulman, roll for that deception.
You have bardic inspiration.
Get galaxy brained. I would also say that you will have advantage on this because you have resolved to tell this version of the truth.
Are either of you going to beat 28?
Fuck. Nope. 21 definitely does not beat 28. Fuck.
Yeah, he sounds like a straight shooter.
That's terribly unfortunate.
I think you see just like Hish almost go a little like wobbly with relief. Says, accident. Some kind of magical thing.
I only have the slightest of details. You know, I don't have that arcane knowledge. But an experiment gone wrong, and he ran out of the building and just tried to leap to put an end to the pain, and, well, didn't quite make it, as we know.
Unfortunate.
What? Albus, how are you holding up?
Not well.
Well, let's stop standing around. Let's get you inside.
And as you say that, you hear a "What ho, fellow acquisitionists!" And you see kind of coming from down the street is the man that you had previously taken a very, very nice cloak from. It seems like Viari has instead adorned your old cloak, Hish, and currently has it wearing that. He just has it on him. And he says,
I immediately drop my coat off of me.
and he just looks at you, just, okay, well, and he kind of like looks you up and down, just, not bad. We have a job. The city's contracted us. Apparently there's a problem with lizard men down to the south, and being the premier adventuring company on the Sword Coast, the city decided that we were going to get hired for it. So we have named you Team Salt Bay because of the bay that this here town is currently located in. So I figured put you guys on the job. You making some money.
This lizard folk problem sounds familiar.
That's what I was telling you about on the way here with Oceanus.
Well, if it's for Oceanus, I suppose we can take this job.
All right. Yeah, if you guys just want to come up to the temporary headquarters and we can get you all spun up on this. Okay then. And he just sort of gives you this like, why would you turn it down that fast? That's so weird. And he just kind of gives you this quizzical look.
Can you pick up my friend's coat, please? He seems to have dropped it on the ground.
That he does.
He just tried to save a man who jumped off of the cliff over there, and he's feeling rather stiff. I think it would be quite helpful if you would pick up his coat for him.
I'm sure that it would, but right now, I outrank you. I'm not doing that.
We'll gladly come with you if you just pick up my friend's coat, please.
Make a persuasion check.
19.
Okay. So he just...
I think Hish sort of like pulls the cloak more over himself and says, you know, I'm sure given your track record, it won't be too long before we're equals.
And at that, he very dejectedly kind of like puts his head down. You hear him grumbling to himself, but he walks over. He picks up Ulman's coat and hands it over to him. And that is where we are going to call it for tonight's session. So I would like to say, first and foremost, thank you to everybody who decided to stick with us even after our initial bout of technical difficulties. Thank you to these wonderful players for putting up with my bullshit. Thank you, Nefarious Obituary, for not one, but 2 donations of 69 bits. Bwomp, 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 bwomp. So, with that, we're going to start with our sign-offs. Dingo, where can we find you? What do you do?
Chips in my mouth.
Perfect.
Well, you can find me on Twitter at WheresMyDingus. Mondays, you can find me on Katieface's channel playing Monster of the Week. Tuesdays, I am also on there playing Masks. The 3rd, that's a Wednesday, I will be there for Summer of Spooks. I'm going to be there a couple of times for Summer of Spooks that she's running over on her channel. Thursdays, I am here with the Salt Bays. And Fridays, you can find me on twitch.tv/off_the-table for Urban Shadows, Sanguahona, The Claiming. It's yeehaw cowboy time over there. Very, very good. That'll be tomorrow. Check that out.
Awesome. And Kiana, where can we find you? What do you do?
You can find me on twitch.tv/ReevesBot. I'm also the same on Twitter. I stream on Wednesdays. I'm trying to make it through all the games in my Steam library, 3 games at a time, an hour each chosen by whoever I choose to co-host. And now there's Steven who might have Wednesdays free in the future. Future. Maybe he'll be around. That'd be cool. Thursdays I'm here doing this, and then Sundays I'm playing through a Divinity 2 campaign with some friends of mine in the morning as I just chill, relax, hang out, socially stream.
Nice. And Cyberwolf, where can we find you? What do you do?
Hi, I'm Cyber. I'm a shitposter on Twitter. You can follow me at Cyberwolf1201. I besides those shitposts, I also tweet about whenever I go live on twitch.tv/Cyberwolf1201, where I am a variety streamer who streams games that I play very, very badly. But I talk about the lore because I really like the lore. Archives of that go to a YouTube that has a really, really bad URL, so consider subscribing if you want me to make the URL better so it's easier to find. You can also find at that YouTube with a really bad URL a podcast that KyleWithAnN and I do called Let's Talk About It, where we get drunk, do parkour, talk about the RPGs that we've been playing in, like this one, perhaps, and other stuff that just, whatever's tickling our fancy for that particular day. Yeah. For other role-playing stuff, though, you can find me here on Thursdays. Hey, you found us. Good job. You can also find me here on Mondays, 7:30 Central Time. That's the time zone I'm in. That's the time that I play. Playing Arjan, the Dragonborn Bloodhunter Cleric. Yeah. It's a good time.
Yeah. And Kylan,
Push me to the edge. All my friends are dead.
All right, and Kylan, where can we find you? What do you do?
Hello, everyone. I am Kylan, otherwise known as KyleWithAnN, on the Twitch and the Twitters. I stream on Twitch sometimes, but my Twitter is the best place to find out when I'm going to be streaming. Other than that, so yeah, I'm here Thursdays. Monday nights, I'm in the same game with Dingo over on Katie Faze's channel. That's it for now. I'm sure I'll have more things to announce soon. But yeah, and check out Let's Talk About It on YouTube and all the streamy platforms. Thanks.
Excellent. And if you have made it this far, you probably already know who I am. But if you do not, hey fella, it's me, your buddy, your pal, your friend, the Indoor Adventurer, the showrunner here at twitch.tv/Indoor Adventures. Monday, Tuesday, Thursdays, and soon Saturdays. I am planning on having the Saturdays be more of a crafting, either whether it's be painting or drawing or doing something creative, because I need to have an outlet for that kind of stuff besides tabletop games, and I really enjoy tabletop games. But we're also going to be doing one-shots on those days as well, so keep an eye out in our Discord, because that is where I usually go to when I'm looking for people to play. And you can find that Discord in the Twitch link by going !Discord, or if you join on Twitch via subscribing, or if you go to patreon.com/indooradventures, you can also join us on Discord through either of those means. And Patreon also gives you access to the after show that we do called Nights in the Courtyard, where we answer questions not only from the community at large, but also from each other, which I feel like there might be a few pertinent questions going on in tonight's after show. So if you're curious about things that happen there, consider supporting on Patreon. But with that, that is it for us, and we will see you guys next week. All right, everybody. Bye-bye.